It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Listen, before we even get started this week, I gotta tell you, this guy's pretty amazing. I thought I was gonna be flying solo today. I was all prepped. He gets up this morning and says, no, I'm feeling better. I'm on my way. We're ready to rock. So you didn't miss this week, Chris.
Whew. Well, you know, there's something going around out there. It's I don't know what it is, but a lot of people not feeling too well. Just try to fight through it, I guess.
This guy's a pro's pro. I'd be at home in bed right now, but instead it's the 145th cup of coffee, and we're going to tell you about some Lake Area headlines, a couple of really cool events. We'll talk a little bit about football. Sad week for football. Mostly, although I think the Chiefs, they did win a big game.
Yeah, they did. On the road in Germany, I think they beat Miami. And again, a game they almost let get away, jumped out to a big lead and kind of held on to win. But that's the Chiefs for you, right? And then some really good games. The Bills and Cincinnati. Look out for Cincinnati.
That wasn't a good game, Chris.
You know, that was not a good game for Bills fans. But it was tough local high school, you know, because it was like the season ender for all the rest of our local teams, basically, last week. But it was a great season.
Not the Pentos.
Oh, that's right. California's still going. That's right.
So we'll tell you about all of that, and it's so hard to believe because we just had that ice recently, like the freeze warning. It got so cold. We're like, hey, the cold weather's here. Not so fast. It's been beautiful the last few days. Better enjoy this late summer weather because we're in November, which means Thanksgiving's about here, and I'm already seeing the Christmas ads and Christmas decorations all over the stores. So, of course, Black Friday is a big deal, and they got some crazy deals right here at Slumberland at the lake.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. Now that October's over, we're getting ready for the Thanksgiving season. What's that mean? Black Friday deals. We're going to do Black Friday all month long. Different deals every day, 36 month, 0% interest, and we deliver the entire lake area. Come check out Black Friday all month long at Slumberland Furniture at the Lake, where we're bringing happy home.
All right, very good. And hey, if you do stop in for the Black Friday sale, also keep in mind that the week leading into Thanksgiving, there's new doorbusters daily, and these are crazy deals, so stay tuned. We'll tell you all about those.
Do you do any Black Friday shopping? Do you do that?
Absolutely not.
That's like the most stupidest thing ever. Getting up at 2 in the morning to go shopping?
Yeah.
I don't get that at all. I mean, but I guess you got to be a chick to do that or something.
We used to like enjoy the local stuff when they would do it Thursday night. We'd do our family Thanksgiving, and once football was over, we'd go out for a little bit, maybe go to Walmart and get some $2 DVDs or something simple. But anymore, it's just gotten out of control.
It's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
The only place that I would do Black Friday shopping is Slumberland Furniture at the lake.
There you go, right here. There you go. I wonder, do they open up like at 2 in the morning on Black Friday?
No, they care about their employees and they care about the well-being of their health.
Absolutely.
So no, they don't. They love to preserve the traditions that are near and dear to most of us. All right, so as we move on to Lake Area headlines, pretty cool. I saw our buddy Jeff Vernetti threw his name in the cap for 123rd Missouri House District, meaning he's running for a seat in the Missouri House of Representatives.
Wow.
Vernetti, whose Camden County enterprise includes Ballparks National, LOZ Sports Training, and the very new and popular Vernetti's Italian Grocer, which sits on the square in Camdenton. I've heard great stuff. He also sits on the board of directors for the Central Ozarks Medical Center, our medical partner. He's on other boards and committees with chambers and stuff. And so he's announced he's officially running for the 123rd District, Missouri House. I'm like, wow, you must be out of your mind to want to run for office. But throws his name in the cap. Official press release came out this week. And so good for Jeff Vernetti throwing his name in the cap, meaning it's time for him to hop on the campaign trail.
Yeah. So that election would be next November?
Next November, the 24 elections.
Okay, so you know, and that it's so great when you get good people willing to jump into politics, right? Because it's not easy. it's a nasty, dirty business, and it's no fun sometimes. So it's kind of almost got to be a calling. So it's a good thing that Jeff's jumping in. Any good people willing to try to do good for the community to jump in is always nice. So we will wish him good luck. And he's running against Lisa Thomas, I think, for that seat. And so Lisa's been in that spot for several years. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, and actually in the press release that was issued, Vernetti actually says he's become increasingly concerned about the lack of representation for the 123rd District. He quoted, "We currently have a part-time representative who does not give a voice to our district in Jefferson City. The 123rd is hugely important to the state's economy. Agriculture and tourism are the top two industries in Missouri, and we have both, and both are being ignored by the current representative. The 123rd District deserves better representation." So he did also take a, not necessarily a shot, but how he feels about the current representation with Dr. Lisa Thomas for the 123rd District. So he does have 23 years experience in media. Now his wife, Kelly, she works with School of the Osage. They've got 2 children, and his son, Dom, he is a former high school football standout, and he is current at Osage, of course. We call a lot of his games.
Remember those games, yeah.
He's currently a junior at Mizzou, and Isabella is a high school senior, and they're active members at Calvary Chapel. And I will say, Jeff Vernetti's Calvary Chapel softball team beat Osage Hills in the championship this year, so the orangutans are coming for redemption next year.
Right, that'll be. Now, are you going to do that again this year? Play us? I mean, you took that really seriously last year. You were like the star of your team and everything.
Well, in my own mind, I sure was. And well, I haven't made an official decision, but I sit down with I think Skip Bayless in a couple of weeks for the decision.
Yeah, you're going to make your announcement?
Yeah, well, we'll have the entire world sit down for my decision on.
You're going to take your talents to South Beach?
That seems like about as realistic and is LeBron's the decision, right? Of course, that's what I'm playing on is LeBron's the decision when he had that feature. Okay, so as we move on, this could go downhill quick. As we move on for local stories, I saw that the Missouri bear hunter numbers were officially in for black bear hunting season, and I saw 12 black bears were harvested, and that hunting season was October 16th through 25th. But man, a lot of people applied.
Yeah, just 12 bears, which was surprising to me. More than 5,370 hunters applied during May for 400 permits for the season. Maximum total harvest being 40 bears in the state of Missouri, right? Of the 400 hunters selected through the random drawing of applicants, 342 hunters purchased permits for the season. Bear hunting in Missouri limited to Missouri residents and restricted to 3 hunting zones that they call bear management zones. So 9 bears harvested in the bear management zone, 1 out of a maximum of 20. So 9 out of 20 there, 173 hunters were involved in that. 3 bears harvested from BMZ 2 out of a maximum of 15, 125 hunters getting permits in that zone. And no bears were harvested in BMZ 3 out of a maximum with 5, 44 hunters got permits there. So really not a whole lot of black bears harvested this year, 12, which is interesting. Kind of makes you wonder if maybe the numbers, the bear population numbers might be down a little bit right now.
Of the 12, 3 were boars, which is males, and 9 were sows, which are female. I was going to ask because, you know, you're a Wyoming guy, right? Did you grow up hunting, or are you familiar with wild elk and different hunting?
Yeah, we did. I never hunted bear, but we did hunt deer and elk and everything like that in Wyoming. So, in fact, we would have people from the east come to Wyoming to go hunting, and they'd end up shooting cows thinking they were, you know, an elk or something. It was kind of ridiculous, but some people from the east don't know what that's all about.
Well, the solution there is we're having steak for dinner, baby.
That's right. Absolutely. It might probably taste better than an elk does, yeah.
That's awesome. I just figured because, you know, hunting's huge down here, and I don't think you hunt anymore, but I'm like, hey, you're a Wyoming guy. You probably have some hunting experience.
You know what I hunt now is squirrels, right? They're hard.
Slingshot?
They're hard, yeah. Like, they're hard to hunt here in Missouri because they're all wild, and you walk out the door and they scamper, they're gone, you know. Like when I was in Texas, they just sit around and look at you and you could just shoot them, you know, and stuff like that. But I hear squirrels are good eating. I've never eaten squirrel before, but I've heard it's good eating. I don't
Squirrel's just sitting there like staring at you.
Yeah.
No remorse whatsoever.
No,
like
none
staring right
whatsoever.
in the eyes of the soul of the squirrel right before you end his life. That's sweet Uncle Chris,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's
So
lovey-dovey right
you
there.
hunt squirrels. But I guess, it's not a whole lot different than hunting, because I don't believe you don't shoot bears. They're not harvested to eat, are they?
Some people eat them. Like there was a show up in Alaska the last few years, and they would hunt bears for winter food to eat them. So I don't know if that's what they do here, if that's what the bear hunting in Missouri, if they harvest that meat. I would guess so, but I
This
don't
is
really
probably
know.
more for population control,
Maybe
right?
so.
Because they could pose a threat to the general public, maybe, or pose a threat.
Yeah. So we once said that if you see a bear lay down and play dead, apparently that's not what you're supposed to do.
Do not look for conservation and wildlife advice from Uncle Chris and Wild Will ever, okay? All right, listen. Party for a Purpose was Saturday for Wonderland Camp. Great event, and I saw Mike Clayton, who's the director of fund development and really the chair of that event. That event raised $145,000.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Well, and we were there. We had a great time. Such a wonderful group of people. Again, that's just Lake of the Ozarks. There are so many giving, wonderful people around here. But what a great cause, Wonderland
Amazing.
Camp. They raised that much money, and it was just a good, fun night. I mean, the dinner was fantastic.
Yeah, can we give a shout out to Margaritaville for that
Wow.
all-you-can-eat prime rib?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Holy moly. There wasn't much left after I went through for the 15th time,
They finally told Uncle Chris, they said, it's all you can eat. You don't need to keep putting on other disguises.
They
You're
said,
fine.
"You've been here 3 hours. You go away."
Oh, man, that's great. All right, so congrats to Wonderland Camp. Joe Wilkie, their executive director, Mike Clayton, Stephanie Daner, their entire crew, just phenomenal. $145,000 raised. And shout out to Rick Bryant with Bryant Auction, who was there. That live auction raised a ton. Like a Albert Pujols jersey went for like $3,000.
Wow.
Those metal things, the guy, and I feel bad because I can't remember his name. He's on the cover of LO Profile. They just had their launch social Tuesday night of this week. But he's on the cover. He makes those incredible wind chimes and those different metal figurines. He donated one, and it went for over $3,000. And so then they put him right on the spot and said, well, you donate another because another person will buy one. And he didn't hesitate for a minute. Absolutely. And so just super cool, amazing event. And man, I still can't stop thinking about that prime rib.
And the eyeberries were fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what surprised me? I watched them last year at this event, the eyeberries, and DJ Kyle, Lake TV's DJ Kyle, is a big part of that band.
Oh, yeah.
But this year he was an even bigger part of that band. He did more lead songs and everything this year than last year. But they are so good. If you haven't been out to see the eyeberries, go see them. They're so good, and they're local, right?
Yeah.
They're so great. They did a great job that night. Mrs. Uncle C and I, we stayed all night and watched them.
Yeah, DJ Kyle, too, on lead vocals is something.
He is amazing.
He seems to get stronger. All right, another thing. We told you a couple weeks about the Oz Fest. It's a fireworks show, and we thought, man, with a accident like that took place, and I saw reports, after the initial stories from like Expo and Us and KRMS News, that actually it was worse than people were letting on.
Really?
Not the injuries, but the damage that had been done. And so on Facebook, the organization, of course this event was October 14th. We told you about it just a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
But they posted on Facebook that this is most likely the last Ozfest. Now, in reflection of the incident, they'll not return in 2024. The actions of those affected will determine the future of Ozark fireworks and the possibility of Ozfest 2025. Ozark, they went on to say that the LLC is a not-for-profit business, so all proceeds collected from the event are donated to Rocky Mountain Fire Protection District. We were kind of waiting for this, right? After the a mortar had went off, blown AWOL or sideways, and it took out some windows in cars, and I think somebody had been taken to the hospital with minor injuries. So a scary event, and then it kind of gives fireworks a bad rep in general, and so we kind of expected this, right?
Yeah, and they say in this press release, the incident involved a rogue firework that exploded on or near the ground around people and vehicles, many vehicles damaged, and a witness reported at least one person appeared to have minor injuries. But I'm guessing the major issue here is insuring the event, right? I mean,
correct.
something like that is tough to insure in the first place. And then if you have an accident like that, it's probably really, really hard to get that event insured. And I'm guessing maybe that's the major issue, which is kind of sad because it was so popular around here. I mean, people did it every year. They went to that every year, and it was going to a fantastic cause. So it's really kind of sad to see it going away. If it does go away, looks like it's gone at least for next year, and hopefully they'll be able to find a way to bring it back, but that's too bad that is going away.
So officially, we'll wait for word on 2025. I can guarantee you this, whether or not there is a 25 event, I will not be in attendance for that.
No, you're not a big fan of fireworks, right? And actually, neither am I, unless I'm a good distance away from them. But, I mean, and for good reason. Those things are bombs exploding, basically.
Isn't that one of the wildest things? I mean, I say it numerous times a year, but that we got all of this fight in our country on gun control, yet there is no background check, nothing required for any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street, completely loaded. He could be drunk, he could be under the influence of drugs, can buy these powerful explosive devices, and then go anywhere he chooses and just light them ablaze. It's just wild to me, but one of the great traditions here in America. All right, so we told you last week about Shawnee Bluff Taste the Lake, pretty cool segment.
That was good.
I want to go back. You know, I'm ready to go back again.
Too.
But I wanted to tell you about a cool event they're going to be rolling out for the first time ever. Their first annual Masquerade Gala. It's the Autumn Gala, and it is going to be November 18th, so next Saturday, and it's at Shawnee Bluff Vineyard out there off 54, close to Eldon.
Not the winery on the strip. It's
not the bluff in Lake Ozark, but the Vineyard off 54, close to Eldon out there, the beautiful concert venue. They have private events and weddings out there, but it's a formal, semi-formal, dress your best. Masks are strongly suggested. They're going to have games, great prizes, tons of food with every one of their featured appetizers at the event. Tickets are on sale now for just $54, but they're already selling fast. They're limited, so make sure that you connect with Shawnee Bluff on Facebook because that's where the event is created, and then you click on the link to Eventbrite. A couple of things they did just change. 11 through 7, Wednesday through Monday, and we're telling you again, if you didn't see last week, just a great place to go out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it's a great winery. Everybody knows they've got great views at the Vineyard. It's an amazing place for events. You know, like they're the top places at the Lake of the Ozark. I didn't realize they had such great food until we went out there for Taste the Lake, and that blew me away. And I mean, and on top of the wines, they've got whiskeys and stuff like that. So they pretty much have everything you want out there. It's pretty incredible.
And Unique and I were going to go to this event. She's trying to encourage me to be a little more festive and dress up for these things. You know, we were planning on dressing up for Party for a Purpose. I got cold feet, of course.
Are you going to be Raggedy Ann and Andy? Is that what you're going to be?
Well, I kind of already pulled that off organically, but no, we've got the Missouri-Florida game for this, but I'm really looking forward to, they've got an adult prom. That's going to be coming up in a few months in the 80s and 90s, and that's something that I never got to do in high school, was go to prom. No one would say yes to me, and certainly no one would ask me. I looked like I was 11 and 12 my junior and senior years, so I'm looking forward to when they announce more information on the adult prom, because that's something I want to put on my list and go to.
That's pretty neat. That would be fun for you and me. Get all dressed up and all that stuff.
Mrs. Uncle C going to join us?
I don't know. I'm not into those prom things.
What if I told you that Shawnee Bluff Winery appetizers would be
Maybe
out?
I'll be there for that. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. I might work that event.
I love it. All right. So as we move ahead, before I go into football rundown, we officially wrap up our high school football season. What a year it was, and you and our crew put together just a phenomenal piece we want to share with you guys right now.
The 11th straight season of local high school football has been amazing, and Lake TV Sports wants to thank the wonderful local fans, players, and coaches for making it so much fun. Thank you, Mustangs, for the wonderful stops we got to make in Eldon. Thank you, Lakers, for letting us be a part of Coach Parpitt's first game as Lakers head coach and several great Laker victories. Thank you, Osage and Coach Jolly, for some of the best thrills and highlights of the entire season and several great Indian wins. Thank you, Tigers, for welcoming us to Versailles for a front row seat of one of your biggest wins in years. Thank you, Pintos, for some great thrilling action as we've come to expect from the great folks in California every year. Thank you for another fantastic high school football season. So what's next? Stay tuned for some great high school basketball this winter, only on Lake TV.
And we mean it. Thank you guys, everybody from our 5 school districts, our coaches, our administrations, the Missouri State High School Activities Association. We love what we get to do with high school sports here in the state of Missouri, especially in the Lake area. Been doing it 11 years now with live football. This is your 3rd year with the Coaches Show. That has been phenomenal. Coach Parpitz and Shannon Jolly, the last week of that, running right now with Coach Parpitz, kind of a season in review. And then, of course, we have to look forward to, as the promo teased, high school basketball season starting in early December, and we've got the high school basketball coaches show starting as well. And we got a big schedule this year, right? I mean, like, ton of games.
Yeah, 14 games in all, boys and girls this year. We had a local person come up to us, why don't you do more girls basketball? And we're like, well, that's a good idea. So we added, I think we're doing 4 girls games this year and 14 games in total. We're doing several doubleheader nights. I think we've got a doubleheader in Max Creek, and the Max Creek girls, look out for them. They are they're so good they could play for a state championship.
Oh, they're a lock for the Final Four. They're a lock for the Final Four.
I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And Osage ladies, the Eldon ladies, who are really good. They've been good the last few years, the Camdenton ladies. So looking forward to that. Our first game is December 8th. That's a Friday. Camdenton at home to Aurora. So put that on your calendar. Join us for some high school basketball.
And listen, you'll get treated to the best play-by-play guy in the basketball industry. Uncle C will be on the mic rocking it. And it should be another great year of high school basketball. And in other sports, as we told you, the football season wrapped up. Man, Camdenton, what a heartbreaking thriller. I mean, it was a thriller, even though Camdenton lost. But a good first year for the Lakers under Parpitz. 8-3, they finish. Eldon went down big at Ava. Versailles lost big at Father Tolton. And so everyone except for California, they're out. But I'm telling you, California, Chris, the way it went down, it was just wild. They were at the 2-seed Oak Grove, right?
Yep.
They trailed 33-29 with 9:22 left, and they ate off like 6 minutes off the clock on a drive. And I was surprised under 3 minutes. They went for a field goal to cut it to a 1-point game. So they hit the field goal, and it was 33-32. Oak Grove got the ball back, and they had a 50-yard touchdown run with like a minute left. The extra point missed. So they were now up 7 with 1:14 left, right?
Right, yeah.
So they kick off to California. California, they drive the length of the field, and with just 4 seconds left, Walker Friedmeier hits a touchdown to Brooks Volkart, and then they went for 2. Tyler Oden gets in for the win with 4 seconds left. They went for 2 to just go for the win. Coach Kenny Grubb rolls the dice, says, we're on the road, we're not going to overtime. On the road, we're going to win or lose right now, and they win.
Wow.
Unbelievable. They're going to play at Odessa in the district championship. Got to give a shout out to the California Pintos. Listen, 9-2 in Kenny Grubb's first year.
Yeah.
Aiden Bryant had a touchdown. Brooks Volkart, a 60-yard touchdown. Oden, before his big 2-point conversion, had a 35-yard touchdown. Walker Friedmeier, a 60-yard touchdown run. And Max Blecky Ferreira, that field goal he hit to trim it to 1, was a huge difference maker. So congrats to one of the greatest high school football towns in the state of Missouri, California Pintos, and good luck at Odessa Friday night. That's the only team we've got left right now is California, so we can start rooting on the Pintos as we shift our attention to high school basketball. And I'm hoping a couple of our teams have us a run this year.
Yeah, I do too. I think the Camdenton boys are getting a lot better under Coach Daniel Edson. Hall of Fame coach Craig Engelbrecht at Osage, they're getting better and better. Last year they had a lot of young players, and they're coming back, so they're going to be pretty good, I think. Eldon's getting better every year. Versailles is going to be really good this year in basketball. So I think we've got some really good local teams this year.
I am looking forward to it. And in football, of course, we told you about high school, but Mizzou had that huge game at Georgia, couldn't pull it out, but they played well, had an opportunity in the fourth quarter, lost 30-21. They fell back to 16, setting up a huge game Saturday with the Volunteers coming in. Volunteers also 7-2. They're right there with Missouri, so it's important for Missouri to regroup because there was so much being put into this Georgia game, right?
We actually watched the second half of that Georgia game together, and they actually had a chance. And, quarterback got his arm hit, ball was intercepted. That kind of ended the comeback attempt. But they were in the game to the point where they had a chance late in the game. That says so much for Mizzou because most teams get blown out by Georgia. They're like the number one team in the country, and Mizzou was right there.
And I tell you, something I learned Saturday was big games that mean a lot to me personally. I don't watch with Uncle Chris because you're such a realist. There's like 4 or 5 times I look back and I'm, living in La La Land, like predicting what's going to happen, the next best great scenario for Missouri to get back in the game. And you should see the looks on his face and how unconvinced and how sure he was it was over once, so many times. So I can't watch those big games with you.
No,
you're too realistic.
I bring you down, man. I bring you down.
Because I have a hard time sitting. I'm up and down. It just gets me worked up. And so Missouri lost, but, man, what a big game Saturday against Tennessee. An opportunity to they got an opportunity to still finish in the top 10 if they win their next 3 games and get a massive bowl game.
Yeah, and the problem with the SEC is that every week you got another tough top 10 type of a game. I mean, last week you have number 1 Georgia. This week you got a great Tennessee team that can blow you out just as soon as look at you. It'll be interesting to see. Again, I think probably Tennessee is going to be better than Mizzou, but just the fact that Mizzou has gotten good enough to be in the conversation of being able to possibly pull off a win. And if they do, again, we're talking about a New Year's kind of a bowl game, a big bowl game for Mizzou, and they deserve it with the great season they're having.
I'm excited because because we're going up to that game Saturday, and our guests are the Creed and Nimrod family. We highlighted Mike Creed, receiver for K-State. Well, Shelly and Mike, their grandson, Chaz Nimrod's a freshman receiver for the Volunteers. He had his first career touchdown, 39-yarder against Kentucky a couple weeks ago. Now, Tennessee only won that game by a touchdown, so the freshman is only catch the game, but we're going to have them with us. They'll be all decked out in their Tennessee stuff. So really excited about that, and we kind of teased it. The Chiefs up 21-0 at half. I mean, you guys were probably just waking up by the time halftime rolled around. It started at 8:30, but they looked so sluggish and out of it and uncharacteristic turnovers. I mean, they got the win, which is what's important, but I've never felt so strange about the first place 7-2 team as I do this year's Chiefs.
Yeah, which is weird because I think they're doing the exact same thing this year that they did last year. Remember, I would go back to that game last year. They were playing Houston, worst team in the league, and they had to go overtime to pull out a win. And I just lost all confidence in the Chiefs. They're doing it again this year. They're just kind of dinking around, and stuff like that. But I think with this Chiefs team is they're so good that they can kind of turn it on and off when they want to. And they're going to be there toward the end. They'll have a chance to go to the Super Bowl again this year.
Yeah, it's still a big lead in their division, first place team in the AFC. And they've got the tiebreaker now with the Dolphins, who you assume are probably going to be there in that picture late in the year. The Chiefs still get to play Buffalo, so Buffalo at 5-4, man. They're really out of the picture. They're not even in a playoff spot right now.
And Cincinnati. The Chiefs have to play Cincinnati and Buffalo still. So, it's kind of interesting how Cincinnati and Buffalo have struggled early season because they're just as good as ever. They just haven't found the magic yet or whatever. And the Chiefs have struggled, but they've been able to find out how to win, except for against Denver and Detroit and stuff. So,
no doubt about that. So as we look at what's going on around Lake TV, Uncle C, Happy Hour DJ Kyle. In case you didn't know, new times here recently in the last month or so, 6 a.m., noon, and 6:02 p.m. It's now half hour, and it's better than ever before. Some really cool stuff coming we've got in the works. Kyle actually is going to have a really cool wine pairing segment out there at Shawnee Bluff. That's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, and, DJ Kyle is so awesome. Everything he does is greatness. Be sure to check them out.
Also, Community Spotlight. It's the Colonel Mike Waggett, veteran special, just an amazing guy he is.
Yeah, he was a very accomplished fighter pilot, and trainer in the Air Force and everything. So he gets dressed in full dress for the show, and we talk about veterans, what veterans are going through, the high suicide rate of veterans and stuff like that. It's a Veterans Day week special, so be sure to join us for that.
He's got the 2 most trusting qualities in a man: veteran, Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, well, at least one of them. I don't know.
Very good. And as we told you, high school football this season. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this week's Cup of Coffee. Until next week, my friends, we'll see you then.